Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Carter's huge mistake and Finn's vow to Liam. The bold and the beautiful hints that Carter Walton will make a huge mistake, while Steffy Forrester settles on a Hope Logan decision. John Finn Finnegan will also make a vow to Liam Spencer. So here's what BNB fans can expect. After listening to Liam's efforts to push her back toward Carter, Hope definitely seems to be leaning in that direction. However, there will be another relationship Hope wants to repair before she focuses on that Carter reunion. Hope and Steffy found common ground recently, so they'll decide to build on that in Monday's episode. There's a good chance Hope will apologize for throwing so much support behind Carter's takeover and acknowledge that she was wrong. Likewise, Steffy may admit she made the wrong call when she talked Eric Forrester and Ridge Forrester into going against their deal with Carter. Since Steffy was the reason Hope got the boot, she'll ultimately undo that decision and invite Hope back to Forrester Creations. There'll be some meaningful gestures on both sides as Hope and Steffy realize life's too short to play these games. Liam's terminal prognosis has been a real wake-up call, so Steffy and Hope will find a peaceful solution on Monday's show. Hope and Steffy will agree to move past all the drama, so that should lead to the revival of hope for the future. At the hospital, Liam will stop by Finn's office to ask a favor regarding Steffy and Hope. Since Liam wants the mothers of his daughters to get along, he'll seek Finn's assistance to make sure that happens even after he's gone. Finn will no doubt vow to do what he can, but Hope and Steffy are already on the right track. Things could change down the road, but Finn and Liam should get good news for now since Steffy's about to welcome Hope back to Forrester Creations. As for Carter, the bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest he may blunder big time by surrendering to Daphne Rose's temptation. Carter assumes Hope threw their love away based on what he overheard, but he doesn't realize Hope was clinging to Liam because of his inoperable brain mass. It looks like Carter will hit the sheets with Daphne, and then realize his mistake in the coming episodes. Liam's funeral arrangements. Hope and Steffy make painful promises? The bold and the beautiful reveal that Liam Spencer may eventually make some funeral arrangements. Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester could be forced to make some painful promises when it comes to Liam's final wishes toward the end of his life. Although Liam knows his condition is terminal, he doesn't want to waste time on anger or wallow in what he can't change. Liam mostly just wants to remember better days and make as many happy memories as possible before he goes. However, the knowledge that he's dying is inescapable now, and will become an even bigger concern for Liam in the coming episodes. Liam's symptoms will keep getting worse, so he'll have to face reality when the end draws near. Although a soapy cure is always a possibility, that story path is perhaps becoming less likely. Based on how all these scenes are playing out, it seems like BNB may truly be giving Liam a dramatic send-off. Liam may not be getting the last-minute save that many fans are hoping for, so he might have to make some difficult preparations. There may come a point when Liam wants to lock in his funeral arrangements and make sure everything is squared away regarding his will, too. Liam may get Steffy and Hope's help to handle his final requests, partly because he trusts them and partly because it'll serve as a way to bring them together. If Liam's storyline is truly going to have a tragic ending, then the show will no doubt give him a funeral to remember when the time comes. Hope and Steffy are going to face one of the toughest challenges of their lives if that happens. The silver lining may be that Liam will accomplish one of his goals when it comes to Steffy and Hope's path to peace. Hope and Steffy's truce may not last forever, but they'll certainly come together for a while over this loss that'll affect them both deeply. We're already seeing the first signs of that, but the trend will continue as this storyline moves along. Despite Hope's desperation over Liam's condition and her desire to find a treatment for him, crushing news could be looming. Liam may get even more devastating updates as his brain tumor grows. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say this could build to an incredibly emotional story ending. Liam's tragic brain tumor prognosis forces final life decisions. The bold and the beautiful reveal Dr. Grace Buckingham delivers crushing news about Liam Spencer's brain tumor progression, forcing him to confront mortality and share final wishes with Hope and Steffy. Liam's devastating brain tumor update leaves Hope and Steffy uniting in grief. Crushing news ahead for Liam. In a heartbreaking development that's about to rock everyone's world, Liam Spencer will receive devastating news about his brain tumor during the week of May 19th to 23rd. The once indecisive Spencer heir has been putting on a brave face since his initial diagnosis, but even he isn't prepared for the bombshell doctor. Grace Buckingham is about to drop. The brutal reality hits home. Although Liam has theoretically accepted his grim prognosis, the harsh reality hasn't fully registered yet. How could it? Despite worsening symptoms that signal his body's betrayal, wrapping your head around your own mortality is something no one should have to face, especially not a young father with so much left to live for. Inside those hospital walls, Liam will cling to that last shred of irrational hope we all would have. Maybe, just maybe, the scans will show his tumor growing slowly. Perhaps there's been a mistake. A miracle even. But soap fans, brace yourselves. Dr. Grace is about to deliver the kind of news that shatters worlds. The scans will reportedly show Liam's tumor is growing much faster than anyone anticipated, a crushing reality that will force him to confront just how little time he has left. Time is running out. The neuro team won't sugarcoat things once these new scans reveal Liam's rapidly deteriorating condition. It'll fall to Dr. Buckingham to have that impossible conversation, one where Liam may push for the answer to the question we all dread. How long? Of course, medicine isn't an exact science, every patient is different. But one thing is crystal clear. Liam will leave this appointment with the sobering knowledge that he needs to prepare, and fast. Hope and Steffi united in grief. If there's one silver lining to this heart-wrenching storyline, it's the possibility of Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester putting aside their differences to support the man they've both loved. Liam has been reluctant to burden others, but both women have already assured him he's anything but a burden. Hope's unwavering support has been a comfort, and Steffi reportedly feels just as determined to be there for her children's father during his darkest hours. It's been challenging for Liam to open up about his situation after all. Who's ever truly prepared to discuss their own mortality? But with both Hope and Steffi rallying around him, we might finally see Liam drop his guard and express what's really on his heart. Final wishes and painful goodbyes. As the reality of his condition sinks in, expect Liam to finally face the necessity of making his final wishes known. This could lead to some of the most gut-wrenching scenes we've seen on The Bold and the Beautiful in years. Will he have special messages for his daughters? Requests for their future? Confessions and regrets he needs to voice before it's too late? The show is clearly setting up for an emotional punch straight to the viewer's heart. And with actors of Scott Clifton, Annika Noel, and Jacqueline McInnes Wood's caliber handling these scenes, you might want to keep those tissues handy. As Liam's storyline grows increasingly tragic in the coming weeks, one thing is certain: this health crisis will force everyone in his orbit to confront what truly matters while there's still time to say goodbye. The Bold and the Beautiful, the canvas of intersecting lives, grows increasingly complex and tragic as Carter Walton makes a devastating mistake, while John Finnegan delivers a solemn vow to a dying Liam Spencer, shaping the trajectory of the show's characters in deeply personal, life-altering ways. The weight of Liam's terminal brain tumor casts a long shadow over the Forrester, Spencer, and Logan families, transforming past rivalries into unlikely alliances, forging new understandings, and triggering a wave of introspection that promises to change the show's emotional landscape forever. Carter, once the steadfast and principled COO of Forrester Creations, stumbles disastrously when he gives in to a moment of vulnerability and desire with Daphne Rose, a move that threatens to annihilate both his reputation and any possibility of a meaningful relationship with Hope Logan. Unbeknownst to Carter, Hope's embrace of Liam was never a betrayal, but an act of compassion and emotional dependency driven by Liam's inoperable brain mass diagnosis. As Carter spirals, convinced that Hope no longer wants him, he seeks solace in Daphne's arms, only to realize far too late that what he perceived as rejection was in fact an expression of deep, conflicted love born from a grief-stricken heart. Meanwhile, Hope is undergoing a reckoning of her own, not just with Carter, but with Steffi Forrester as well, as the two women begin to dismantle years of rivalry and betrayal in light of Liam's rapidly deteriorating condition. Monday's episode marks a pivotal turn, as Hope and Steffi choose to find common ground, opening the door to healing and redemption through mutual respect and shared sorrow. In an uncharacteristically humble gesture, Hope acknowledges her misstep in backing Carter's aggressive campaign to sideline the Forresters, admitting that her ambition clouded her judgment. Steffi, in turn, concedes that urging Eric and Ridge to renege on their agreement with Carter was a mistake, and that she too played a role in escalating unnecessary conflict. This mutual accountability leads to a heartfelt resolution. Steffi invites Hope to return to Forrester Creations and revive hope for the future, signaling a rebirth of not just a fashion line, but a tentative truce between two women who once fought endlessly over the same man. Their reunion is underpinned by Liam's illness, which serves as the catalyst for their emotional evolution. In the hospital, Liam makes a poignant visit to Finn's office not to discuss his own fate, but to make a request that transcends his impending death. He asks Finn to promise that even after he's gone, he will do everything in his power to ensure that Hope and Steffi continue to get along, for the sake of their daughters Beth and Kelly. Moved by Liam's humility and selflessness, Finn vows to honor this request, determined to be the glue that helps preserve the peace between the women who've been central to Liam's life. Finn's vow is more than a promise, it's a symbol of how Liam's condition is bringing people together, even as it tears his own life apart. But the glimmers of unity and hope are darkened once again, as Liam receives devastating news from Dr. Grace Buckingham, who confirms that his brain tumor is progressing far more rapidly than expected. This grim update shatters whatever fragments of optimism Liam might have clung to, forcing him to confront the inevitability of his own death, with a clarity that is both heartbreaking and courageous. It becomes clear that the doctors can no longer offer false hope. There is no miraculous cure around the corner, no last-minute operation to save him. Instead, Liam is told the brutal truth. He has weeks left, perhaps less, and needs to begin making final arrangements. In a series of scenes that deliver a powerful emotional punch, Liam begins to prepare for the end not by retreating into despair, but by creating space for love, reflection, and goodbye. He starts to draft funeral arrangements, not as a symbol of defeat, but as a final act of agency and consideration for the people he loves most. Hope and Steffi are drawn even closer into his world as he enlists them to help with his final wishes, binding them not just in grief, but in trust and shared responsibility. This includes emotional conversations about his daughters' futures, messages he wants them to hear long after he's gone, and perhaps even unresolved confessions that have haunted him for years. For Hope and Steffi, the weight of this responsibility is both crushing and transformational. They are no longer simply rivals or co-parents, they are Liam's anchors, his lifelines as he slips closer toward the end. Their dynamic begins to shift from cold civility to a powerful sisterhood of shared mourning, one forged in the fires of tragedy and bound by a mutual commitment to honoring Liam's legacy. As Liam's symptoms worsen, his memory faltering, his speech sometimes slurring, Hope clings to him more fiercely, refusing to let go of the man who gave her Beth and stood by her through some of life's darkest storms. Her love for him, complicated by guilt and loss, becomes both her strength and her burden. Steffi, ever the fierce protector, begins to crumble behind closed doors, finally allowing herself to feel the pain that she's kept at bay for the sake of her children. Even as she maintains her composed facade for Kelly and Hayes, Steffi finds herself breaking down in Finn's arms, confessing her fears not just about Liam's death, but about the future of their blended family in the wake of such an enormous loss. Meanwhile, Carter, now drowning in remorse, tries to confront Hope about what happened with Daphne, only to find himself rebuffed and emotionally exiled. Hope, devastated to learn that Carter didn't trust her enough to ask for the truth, decides that she cannot forgive him, not now, when her world is already crumbling. Carter's moment of weakness has cost him dearly, and though he may come to regret it for the rest of his life, the damage may be irreversible. This self-inflicted wound marks the end of a potential love story that might have given Hope solace in the wake of Liam's passing. Instead, she turns inward, leaning only on Steffi and her family as Liam's condition deteriorates. In the final episodes of May, the show builds toward what may be one of its most unforgettable climaxes, Liam's final days. As he begins to say goodbye to the people he loves, Bill, Wyatt, Brooke, and his daughters Hope and Steffi become his caretakers and his confessors, the last two hearts he entrusts with the truth of his soul. Viewers can expect scenes of rare vulnerability and emotional depth as Liam tries to capture moments of joy in his remaining time. A quiet day at the beach with Kelly, a bedtime story for Beth, a candid talk with Steffi about the life they could have had, and a soft, tear-filled goodbye with Hope that underscores the endless love they shared. All the while, Finn continues to honor his vow, supporting both women and acting as a bridge between them. He comforts Steffi when her strength falters and steadies Hope when her heart feels like it's breaking. His role becomes more vital than ever, not only as Steffi's husband, but as a moral compass guiding everyone through a storm of grief. As Liam begins to slip away, his final request may be for Hope and Steffi to continue loving each other as family, raising Beth and Kelly in unity, not rivalry. And as he takes his last breath, surrounded by the women who have defined his life, viewers are left with the devastating beauty of a life fully lived, a love shared between three people who finally understood what it meant to let go with grace. The fallout from Liam's death will no doubt ripple across the bold and the beautiful for months to come. Carter's betrayal, the fragile new alliance between Hope and Steffi, and Finn's ongoing vow will all become part of the next act in this saga. But for now, the spotlight belongs to Liam, a man who began his journey torn between two loves and ends it embraced by both, reminding us that even in a soap opera, the most powerful story is not one of scandal, but of redemption, grace, and the enduring power of goodbye.